Ever wonder what's really in a name? Well, it turns out a whole lot. You know, from the logo on your phone to the label on a bottle of wine, there are these powerful, kind of hidden legal frameworks working behind the scenes. They're there to protect the value and the promise behind those names. Today, we're going to dive into two of the most important of these protections. One that acts like a shield for a company's identity, and another that guards an entire region's heritage.
So, let's kick things off with a little puzzle. What could a massive global luxury brand possibly have in common with a tea grown way up in the Himalayas? I mean, on the surface, it seems like nothing at all. But they actually share something absolutely fundamental, a name that carries a ton of value and trust. And that, right there, is where our story really begins.
First up, think about a name like Dunhill. It just instantly makes you think of one single company, right? A very specific standard of luxury, a reputation that's been built up for over 100 years. It represents a corporate identity that people recognize all over the globe.
And then you've got a name like Darjeeling. Now, this name doesn't belong to some big corporation. It belongs to a place. It stands for the collective heritage, that unique climate, and the shared knowledge of thousands of different producers in a very specific part of India. It's a promise of quality that's tied directly to the land itself.
So here's the kicker. While both Dunhill and Darjeeling are legally protected names, the kinds of shields they use are totally different. One protects a private, corporate asset. The other protects a shared, regional treasure. And you know, understanding this difference is really the key to seeing how global trade actually works.
All right, so first things first, let's take a closer look at that corporate shield, the trademark. This is pretty much the foundation of all modern branding. At its very core, a trademark is a source identifier. Its entire job is to cut through all the noise in the marketplace and tell you, the customer, hey, this product comes from this specific company and nobody else. It's a simple but really powerful guarantee of origin. And what's really fascinating is just how broad the concept of a trademark is. We're not just talking about words and logos here. I mean, it can be the iconic shape of a Coke bottle, a specific jingle from a tech company, or even a particular scent. Seriously, if it can set one company's product apart from another's, it can probably be a trademark.
But you know, what if the goal isn't to identify just one company, but to guarantee a certain standard? Well, that's where certification marks come into play. You can think of it like a seal of approval. One that confirms a product, no matter who actually made it, meets a very specific set of verified criteria. The Woolmark logo is a perfect example of this. When you see it, you don't think of one particular company, do you? You think of a promise. This thing is 100% pure new wool and it meets these really strict performance standards. It's a mark of quality, not corporate origin. Okay, let's pivot. We've seen how companies protect their identity. Now let's explore how entire communities protect their heritage. This brings us to the world of geographical indications, or GIs for short. A GI is a whole different animal from a trademark. It's a direct, unbreakable link between a product and where it came from. The magic isn't created in some corporate branding department. It's literally in the soil, the climate, and the traditional methods of that one specific region. Think champagne from France or Parmesan cheese from Italy. So, a GI basically serves as collective protection for all the producers in a region. It makes sure that the name Darjeeling, for example, can only be used for tea that's actually grown in that specific district, which protects its unique reputation from a flood of imitators. It forges that unbreakable bond between the product and the place. Okay, let's put these two concepts side by side. This is where the differences really pop, and you can start to see why they might sometimes clash with each other.
This table paints a really stark contrast, doesn't it? A trademark is private property. It's owned by an individual or a company. Its whole purpose is to separate one company's stuff from another's, and you can buy it, sell it, or license it. It's a flexible business asset. A geographical indication, though, is a shared right. It's held by a community, and it's inalienable. The producers of Darjeeling can't just decide to sell the name Darjeeling to a company in another country. It belongs to the place, forever.
So what happens when a super powerful global trademark clashes with another company using the exact same name? Well, this isn't just a theoretical question. A landmark case involving Dunhill shows us exactly how the law deals with this kind of conflict. On one side, you have the plaintiff, Alfred Dunhill. We're talking about a company with this ironclad worldwide reputation for luxury goods built up for over a century. Their name is just synonymous with their products. And on the other side, you have the defendant, a textile company that decades later, it decided to adopt that very same, very well-known name for its own products and for its corporate identity.
So this was the central question for the court. Would an average person, seeing the name Dunhill on a textile product, reasonably think it was from, or at least approved by, the famous luxury brand? It all really boils down to the likelihood of confusion out there in the marketplace.
Well, the court's finding was absolutely decisive. It basically said that the Dunhill name had become so famous that it had created this conscious connection in the public mind with the original company's products. And this reputation, the court pointed out, wasn't just limited to countries where the goods were sold. It was a truly global thing.
This outcome really shows the power of a strong trademark. The court granted an injunction, which stopped the defendant from using the name. The ruling was a clear affirmation that a company's global goodwill and reputation are incredibly valuable assets that the law will protect from being watered down or unfairly taken advantage of.
So we've definitely navigated some complex legal territory here. Let's zoom out for a second and see how these ideas about trademarks and geographical indications actually affect our daily lives, like every single time we go shopping.
At the end of the day, these legal frameworks are really all about trust and authenticity. They make sure that when you buy a product based on its name, you're not being misled. They give companies a reason to invest in quality, and they protect the livelihoods of entire communities whose whole brand is their heritage. They're like the invisible rules that help the global marketplace function fairly. And that leaves us with one final big question to think about. As our world gets more and more interconnected, which one holds more power? The global reach of a corporate trademark, or the authentic story of a geographical indication? It's a fascinating tension, this battle between the corporate shield and the mark of a place. And you know, the answer is definitely going to shape the future of commerce.